Charlie Kirk single-handedly demolishes a woke student. Folks, what's a bit interesting about this video is that the student essentially presents himself as a conservative of some sorts, or at least a person who votes Republican. Do I believe that after watching this exchange? I don't know, all right? I will let you guys be the judge. So with that being said, we are going to get right into it. But first, do me a huge favor here. Like our video and share it around. That way we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. And as always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Charlie Kirk, it's really you, man. I've been following you since George Floyd, that whole thing went down. I want to preface my question by saying I voted for Donald Trump, but when students say that Donald Trump wants to rule like a fascist and then deports people like Abrego Garcia without due process, I wanted to ask you, how can you call yourself an American patriot when the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that the deportation was unlawful and that they are ordered to facilitate his return and haven't?
How can I call myself an American patriot? Because a MS-13 gang member, wife-beating, child-abusing foreign citizen was sent back to his country of origin? Pretty easily. That's what American patriots do. Secondly, the Supreme Court did not say that. They said 9-0, that there was an administrative error, that he could have been sent to any country except El Salvador. The fact was not that it was wrong that he was deported. It was just the fact that he was deported to the one country he could not be deported to. Finally, I don't understand the emphasis and the concern and the hyper-pathological fixation on why a foreign citizen who is a gang member gets all of the attention of the American left while you, the American people, have been ignored by them over the last 30 years. It's creepy and it's bizarre.
There are a lot of criticisms to be made that we have been ignored, but at the end of the day, number one, the 14th Amendment grants due process.
Wrong.
Yes, it does.
Not under the Alien Enemies Act. That's incorrect. Alien Enemies Act does not give you the same due process rights, number one.
He can, okay.
Number two, it was still underway while that happened. Number two, the Supreme Court ruled in 2019 under the Expedited Removal Act that you do not get full due process rights if you're within 100 miles of the border or 14 days of entry. And then number three, do you think that we should have 21 million trials for all the illegals that the Democrats lend in?
There's a far-left pro-illegal immigration activist group called Asylum Seeker Advocacy Project. They do a lot of things, including but not limited to assisting illegal aliens in their trials as the U.S. government tries, in quotes, to deport them. That group estimates that any given court case will often last anywhere from less to a year to several years, particularly when people apply for asylum, which, let's face it, many illegal immigrants do because they know that's a great way of staying in the country and not getting deported. If somebody knows how long court cases do, it is certainly that group, the one who purposely drags them out and makes the American people suffer for it. All that to say, if we play ball with these ridiculous court cases, we will never get mass deportations. All right, it's not going to happen. As Charlie said, there are at least 20 million illegal immigrants in the United States. I personally think it's more. It's probably over 30 million, in my opinion. We're talking about tens of millions of years of court proceedings if we give these people all full trials. No. Absolutely not. We are not going to get mass deportations done if we do that. But, frankly, it's not like they're happening right now as they are. It just isn't happening under the Trump administration. Psst, Charlie, maybe you can help change that. Help us out, buddy. Please.
So, to take each point, number one, the Alien Enemies Act can only be invoked if there's, I believe, reason to suspect war, or if there's...
Yes, we've been invaded the last 4 years, so yes.
You can't just say that.
Yes, you can.
A court has...
Frente Aragua and MS-13 invaded this country the last 4 years. We have material proof to show that. What's your next point?
Okay, that has to be proven in a court of law, but my next point is...
No, it does not. You could do it and then you prove it. The point is the president has full authority to invoke the AEA.
You can do it and then you can prove it?
Yes, that's correct. The commander, for example, the commander-in-chief has unilateral war powers acts within 90 days to be able to defend the country of the Asian invasion or incursion or war. For example, the president doesn't have to go in front of a judge if all of a sudden he wants to defend ourselves against Saddam Hussein or whomever, North Korea attacking the country. The president is the commander-in-chief who can act unilaterally under Article 2 to defend our country against invasion. You don't have to go to a court first to get permission to act as commander-in-chief. That's insane.
Okay.
I think our friend over here is suffering from a case of judicial supremacyism. That is to say, he thinks that everything the courts say is automatically the correct thing, the best thing, the objectively correct thing, morally right, constitutional, whatever. You can insert any kind of positive adjective or qualifier in there. If we're going to go off of what the courts say, well, it's been proven in a court of law that Donald Trump is a person charged, or rather convicted, of multiple felony counts, and that he could be sentenced and ultimately thrown in prison for the rest of his life. Right? That was proven in a court of law. So, well, the court said it, so it must be true. Point being, just because the courts say something doesn't mean it's true or right. And this is something that many people have a hard time grasping, this concept, whether it's people on the right side of politics, left side, middle, independent, it doesn't matter. We've had plenty of bad rulings by the Supreme Court in the past. Roe v. Wade, ever heard of it? Thankfully, it got overturned, but not for what was it, 60 years, 70 years? Courts get it wrong, and they do so all the time.
I'm not sure if that's true, but I'll take that for the case.
Of course it's true,
For the case of argument, the Supreme Court still ruled that they have to facilitate his return. They have not. Why haven't they?
They asked. It's El Salvador. They said no.
The Supreme Court says they have to
They
facilitate
don't
his
control El
return.
Salvador. I'm sorry. They don't control El Salvador.
So we can send people to El Salvador, but we can't bring them back?
Yes, we don't control El Salvador.
Right.
But
It's not our country.
So we can send people there?
You mean, wait, hold on. You mean we sent an El Salvadorian back to El Salvador?
Against the law.
Wrong.
It
was an administrative error. It was not against the law. It's not against the
there
law.
was a 2019 court ruling under Dave M. Jones that he has a withholding of...
They could go to any country except El Salvador. We acknowledge it was the one country he should not have been sent to. It was not an illegal deportation. The judge said, this is your final warning, Mr. Garcia. You could be scooped up at any time and sent to any country except El Salvador. So, ironically, if we would have sent him to the Congo, Gitmo, North Korea, it would have been perfectly fine, which would have actually been foreign prisons. We actually did him the accommodation of him going home. Thank you very much. Next question. We're running out of time.
I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe there was a mistruth or lie or two told about who that guy voted for, but maybe it's just me. Now, if you thought that was a peculiar question, just you wait, because there is somebody who is about to one-up that by far. Take a look.
Okay, I didn't think I'd make it here, but okay, politics are meant to separate us. What do you think of that?
Wrong.
And why?
Politics is the highest form of community because it blends sociality, sociability, and morality. We are political beings, naturally. Politics actually is meant to bring us together. Look how everyone is brought together here in defense of the country and liberty and freedom.
Cool.
This is actually a unifying event, not a dividing one.
Okay, but we've survived for millions of years without politics, or thousands, I'm sorry.
Wrong. Every civilization, every custom has always had some political structure. They've had kings, they've had pharaohs, they've had czars, they've had some sort of governing structure is political by nature.
But those weren't debating, you didn't debate to have those kings.
Of course you did. You had debates all the time. Even in Jesus' time, the Sadducees debated the Pharisees, and they debated the Romans, and they debated the Samaritans, and they debated the Judeans. We are political beings by nature. Man is a political animal.
Okay, but why hasn't there been some sort of middle ground in between the two?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Why hasn't there been a sort of middle ground in between the two?
I don't know, ask the left that. We found middle ground with some of these questioners. We brought a liberal up, and he was pro-trans, and we found middle ground on very important issues. No men and female sports and no castration of kids. We did find middle ground here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That reminds me a lot of John Lennon's Imagine. Totally overrated song, by the way. But just think about the lyrics before you get upset at me. Imagine no country, no borders, blah, 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 blah. It's about a utopia, all right? Something that doesn't exist. This kind of lovey-dovey idea of, ooh, peace and love, bro. Everything's all nice, no disagreements. But it's not reality, all right? It just doesn't exist in human nature. And it's fundamentally naive, at best naive, to suggest that we can get to such a thing. It's going to sound obvious, but at the end of the day, we live in a society. And what does that mean? We have to figure out how to govern it. It's simple as that. With all that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, leave a comment below. Let us know what you liked about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and hit that subscribe button. And that way, we'll be sure to see you again. And to our returning subscribers, thank you so much. God bless.